Hi class, and welcome to our lesson on subtracting integers. Go ahead and get out your ISN, and once you do that, go ahead and number your page 17, write your title, and then go ahead and draw a straight line because we'll be doing some Cornell notes. Alright, once you do that, you can hit play and we'll get started. Alright, once you have everything set up, we can go ahead and write our first Roman numeral 1. We're going to talk about our subtracting integer rule. So if you haven't figured it out by now through the labs, the rule that you're going to write is that when we're subtracting integers, you have to rewrite the problem as addition, which means you're going to essentially add the opposite of the second number. Take some time now to write that down. Then, let's try a problem, okay? When I say I want to rewrite the opposite of the second number, here's what that looks like. If I want to rewrite this 2 minus 5 as an addition problem, I'm going to say 2, which is my starting number, plus, what is the opposite of positive 5? Because this is a positive 5. What's the opposite of it? The opposite of positive is negative. So my problem now becomes 2 plus negative 5. Okay? I'm just practicing rewriting here. With this problem, we have negative 6 minus negative 2. If I rewrite using this rule, add the opposite of the second number, then I'm going to write this as negative 6, which is my starting number, plus, what's the opposite of negative 2? Positive 2. So, this is what it will look like as an addition problem. Before we get into what to do next, I do want to give you some tips. So, skip a line, and we're going to write down some tips for subtracting integers. The first tip is don't forget the pencil trick when you're solving, okay? Remember, when we solved in the lab, we were determining whether the answer would be increasing or decreasing. So if we always start our pencil facing the right, for our first problem, 2 minus 5, I see a negative sign, so I'm going to reverse. That means that my answer is going to be on the decreasing end, okay? So don't forget the pencil trick, and if you forget, just make sure you see the lab sheet. Second pointer that I want you to remember is that the first number is always going to be your starting point, okay? I'm just going to maneuver this up a little bit. The first number is always your starting point. It doesn't matter if the first number is negative or positive. You're always going to write that the same, okay? So don't forget that your first number is where you start on the number line. Skip a line. When you rewrite your problem, you're going to write it like this. The first number plus the opposite of the second number. As you can see, I did up here. The first number plus the opposite of the second number, which we know the opposite of negative is positive. So that's why I have a positive 2 here. Okay? Now, finally, once this is rewritten, once you rewrite the subtraction problem as addition, you can use your integer rule for addition to solve the problem. Hint, you need to remember the integer rule song. Okay? It goes like this. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. Keep the sign of the higher number, then you'll be exact. Okay? So, essentially, we're just creating an easier way for us to solve this. Okay? Now we're going to do a little bit of practice so that you can become a little bit comfortable with using this rule. Okay? I am going to show you the practice problems. And we're going to work the first one out together, okay? And then I'll let you do the others by yourself and come back for the answers. So, first thing we need to do, we know this is a subtraction problem. We need to rewrite as addition. My notes tell me that I need to write this first by writing and I use a marker to do this. Write the first number plus the opposite of the second. Well, the second number is positive, so that means this is going to be negative 2. Okay? Now I can use my integer rule song. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. Keep the sign of the higher number, then you'll be exact. Okay? Clearly the higher number here is 6. It is positive, so my answer is going to be positive. Go ahead and see if you can solve some of these problems and then come back at the end and I will go through each problem for your answers. Alright, if you've turned back on, either you want me to work out one additional problem or you've already answered everything and you want me to go through the answers. So let's jump right into it. For this problem, we have -3 minus 2. So I'm going to write my first number plus the opposite of the second number. The second number is a positive 2. So the opposite of that is going to be a -2. Okay? And I have same sign, so I'm going to add and keep the sign. So my answer here should be -5. For number 3, I'm going to keep my first number plus the opposite of my second number. My second number here is -5. So the opposite of -5 is going to be +5. Okay? Same signs, add and keep. Different signs, subtract. Keep the sign of the higher number, then you'll be exact. Next problem, 8 minus -6. I'm going to keep my first number plus, what's the opposite of -6? +6. You can just ignore the bell. 8 plus 6 is going to give me what? It's going to give me 14. So that's my answer, a +14. Okay? Now, with this problem, don't assume that it's 1, a +1. We still got to work this out, okay? 9 plus, what's the opposite of +10? -10. Same signs, add and keep. Different signs, subtract. Keep the sign of the higher number, then you'll be exact. The answer is -1, okay? Last problem. -4, keeping my first number, plus, what is the opposite of +7? The opposite of +7 is -7. Same signs, add and keep. Okay, so my answer is going to be -11. Okay, once you finish this, make sure that you completely understand the problems. Go back through the labs and make sure that you are fully comfortable with this concept. If not, you might want to go back through a few of the problems that you did before. Practice using the pencil trick, and please practice using this rule. Okay? Once you do that, you need to go ahead and practice on IXL. Don't forget to use your notes. That's what they're for. Okay, guys? And if you have any issues or questions, you know I'm a few feet away, so feel free to ask. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.